Hey, welcome back. We've got three kind of boring, dull, and uneventful entries to read, so we're going to get through them fast today. But at the end, I'm going to talk about something current, this sci-fi novel that I just read. Let's go! January 4th, 1981. As the situation is, not in the mood for writing, I'll just explain today. I knew Joe's father was coming up today, so I didn't do very much because of anticipation of what we would do tonight, go to the movies. So I fussed around today doing little insignificant things and then pondering why I was wasting time when I had decided never to do so again. The reason being, I wrote my grandmother Mary a letter, started my essay on Leonardo da Vinci that was due for European history back before vacation. Other than that, it was just mulling around. I played Joe a quick game of chess which I won. I then lost it to his father 3 times. For the movie we saw Stir Crazy. It was really good, funny. After that we stopped at McDonald's before getting back here. Joe's father is nice. We also played the electronic games at the bowling alley. It should have sparked my interest in them again, but somehow they didn't. January 5th, 1981. I'm trying to think of a clever way to say I want to get out of writing this entry. It really isn't terrible important to always get everything explained. Besides, I've got a streak going that I don't want to talk about. What's worse than having a problem is knowing you have one, but don't do anything about it. Wow, that's what is this little bit of wisdom here from little Kent? What's the wisdom? What's worse than having a problem is knowing you have one, but don't do anything about it. Is not doing something about a problem worse than having the problem? No, I mean, having the problem is the worst thing. If you didn't have the problem, then you wouldn't be feeling guilty if you weren't doing anything about it. But it's impossible to not have problems, so I guess the next best thing is to do something about it. Oh well, no biggie, tomorrow. January 6th, 1981. I just saw a TV show called Primal Man. I'm really disappointed that I won't write about this train of thought I've gone through today. Yeah, we're disappointed that you're not writing about it. What's the train of thought? Stuff's coming up about my thoughts on religion versus humanity. It's really strange, and I'm getting new feelings that scare me a little. That's good. Though, of course, I must be learning something new. I'm taking these giant steps in my rate of maturity. That's what's kind of scary. I know I don't prove it by that line, but that's okay. I've determined how valuable this book really is. I have to get my sleep. I'm going to try this for a while. Put only selective ideas in my log. The day's events each day is really irrelevant to anything. Besides, get off with an easier entry. Well, still doing it. Even if you don't have anything to say, just say something, is what I say. Hey, I read a science fiction book the other day. I just picked it up in the morning and I just read it through the whole day. I really couldn't afford the time, but it was a fast read because it's skinny. And it was on my my bookshelf. I don't ever remember buying it. I know I never read it before. I don't know how it got there, but I just was looking for some inspiration to write. So the best inspiration to write is to read. So it was skinny and I grabbed it and I started reading it. And there was some serendipity involved in that choice because this book is about an alien race, but more importantly than the aliens is the fact that there is a class of those aliens called the Protector that is a warlike version of the overall species that's sole job is to protect the breeders and the children. And if they don't have children or family or something to protect, they die. They have to have, they're driven by this duty to protect. And that's very relevant to me right now in my life because, well, just 5 weeks ago I had a baby girl. And 17 months prior to that I had a baby boy. Because leading up to all that I went through a life crisis, a crisis of purpose, hit my 50s and didn't have any children. And I upended my life and my wife's life at the time to change that and to have children. Everything's fine with my ex and everything's super great with my wife now. But I have a renewed sense of purpose in life because I'm a protector. So I just found that kind of cool how, there's a lot of coincidental things in life. I call it serendipity, and that's just one of them. I transformed into a protector, a couple of years ago, and then I picked up this book that's a super big analogy of it. It's just cool. You know what? I think I need to write about that in my journal. I'm going to go do that now. You get writing too. Come on. Put it down by hand. See ya.
Wamping through the desert, all right. But I don't see no naked women. I should have my head overhauled for listening to you. My grandmother was right. Cow shit for brains.
Me?
No, me.
What are you doing?
I'm getting bad.